Hello. All right. I'm fine if you want to start. I want my iPad to charge a bit before I start, like my stream end, but like we can start on your end. N- Not yet. Let me do that. Stream together. Da, 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 da. Well, we can't do it. It is.
Hello, everybody. Hey, I hope you are all having a lovely Thursday before the 4th of July. I am here with the usual bird with the murd, Sam the
Yeah,
Silky.
let me. Hello. Let me see which Fugi I want to be. I like swapped it a whole bunch during the last like stream I did with someone. I just kept switching it every time they like went away and came back.
Oh, that's funny. Right now, it looks like you got Majima,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Da.
yeah, this one's gonna be a little bit more chill. I'm trying to get back on the ball with like making some progress on some recent projects, and I'm trying to focus on the things that are actually fun to watch me do instead of the writing ones. So I hope that y'all are
Oh yeah,
down
yeah.
to watch me ink things.
I mean, inking. I find inking is good for like streaming. Like my brain can like interact with chat and like control stream while I'm inking.
Oh, same. The
I
frustrating
can't. I can't sketch on stream. That's when my brain is like, too
I
much.
I want to get better at that kind of thing because it is fun, and like having to talk sort of stops me from agonizing a little bit. Sometimes you just gotta lean into first idea, best idea.
Yeah.
Right now I'm also kind of I'm kind don't tell any of my teachers. I'm kind of cheating a little bit. I'm inking the parts of the drawing that are locked in and letting myself just hand wave the entire background for a little bit to force myself to get progress done.
Whatever you got to do.
Yeah, it's got to be like whatever works. So Sam, did I tell you that I am going to be hitting up EternalCon next week?
It's next week. Oh my god.
It is next week. Actually, wait. Don't quote me on that. I might be dumb. No, yeah.
I don't know. I haven't paid attention. So.
Next week, the 12th and 13th, I am going to be going back to the Long Island comic scene. God help me.
Oh my god. Maybe I should pop by. I don't remember what I'm doing next weekend.
It'd be nice to see you, and it can't be nearly so rough as Bix. Like, good God.
Oh yeah. No. No. No.
I felt so guilty about suggesting that you visit me at that because it
Oh
was
no, I had a great time. You know what?
okay.
If I didn't go to it, I wouldn't have gone on eBay and just looked up Reso, and I wouldn't have bought a risograph impulsively. So I'm gonna thank you for that.
Okay, that's so funny actually. Everybody was talking about risograph like printing at that show. Everybody was sort of like, "Oh, it's the hot new thing. It's suddenly really popular. Advances in the technology means it's a lot more practical." And like you're the only one I know that actually just went out and like, "I'm just going to get the machine. Fuck all
Yeah,
this
well, it's funny
lessons."
too because like I probably told you this while I was there. I don't remember. I was just like, "There's too much Reso. There's too much Reso,"
There's too
and then
much
I fucking
reso.
bought one.
Yeah, and now you're contributing to it. You're joining the war on print on the side of print.
Yeah, I mean it's because like um 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 I like talked to someone. I talked to there was like this these two people there. I think they're a couple. Um and I bought I don't remember if I bought them before or after I hung out at your table. The Gundam Dojin, the Gundam fan fiction shit I bought.
I am pretty sure if you were holding that, you would have like shown it to me. So I'm pretty sure that it's
Okay,
after you saw me.
okay, yeah, I bought two different Gundam fan fiction from this table because
Nice,
they were very intricately put together.
nice, nice, nice,
Let me
nice.
pull them out and take pictures. I like they amazed me. But either way, the partner, the other person at the table, I guess is a printmaker.
Yeah.
So like I like bitched on Blue Sky about how like there was too much reso and I was kind of like about it and like felt that people don't take advantage of what it actually is. Like they're just doing it for the sake of doing it. And like being a printmaker, like the two of them like agreed with me so hard. It's just people are just doing it just because and not even using it like a printmaking medium, you know?
So a lot of people are just sort of like, yeah, we have reso prints. You like those words, you fucking peasants?
Yeah,
Sort of
I mean,
shit.
shit. Like the thing is, Riso is like transparent. You're supposed to fucking overlay it if you're
Yeah.
doing art shit with it. And they were saying like you have like, you know, fucking. It's very art student core right now, which is unfortunate, just because it's so accessible. I blame SVA for this,
I see.
honestly.
No, that tracks.
Yeah.
I am hearing a lot of what my alma mater is responsible for.
I would like to know what else, but let me finish this thought first.
Go for it. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's also because I have music in the background and words happen. It's like no words, or I can't speak. Um, um, so because it's so accessible, like you know, you'll have like kids who know how to illustrate and like do it well, but like just like oh, you have access to a billion colors. Let's just print with a billion inks, and it's like, what are you doing? Don't do that.
I see. I see. So
You're supposed to mix color.
nobody's actually learning what the thing does. They're just going like, yeah, reso. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it was, you know, obviously I like illustrative stuff, right? Like the kind of shit that you like works well with Riso. I found at the show most of the stuff that I was attracted to that was Riso was photography, or like
Really?
traditional illustration that was translated to it. Like there was that one table that had really expensive art books that were like landscape watercolors printed with Riso.
So what I've been hearing a lot, like when I was up at Rice earlier this year, uh, my buddy Danielle insisted that we visit a local reso lab and meet somebody who had like set himself up with a business around there, and like we sort of
Yeah,
got to talking about the process, and we sort of ended up concluding that it's a very highly technical approach to what's ultimately like a very crude traditional process. Like it's
yeah,
digitizing and robot and automating what would otherwise be a much more like time consuming process of setting aside screens and running prints and whatnot. So I'm not surprised that
yeah,
pairs well with traditional media because you're not actually doing digital printing. You're just still like
yeah.
you're basically rolling stamps onto the thing.
Yeah, basically, even though it's funny because it's called a digital duplicator. Because like I mean, it still is at the same time. It's like a combination, which is what appeals
Yeah.
to me with like the process. You know?
There's a fascinating craftsmanship to it, and like I feel like a lot of other people who table shows are not really in the habit of thinking about their print method as like part of the artistry or part of the process. Like I've
Yeah,
looked into getting my stuff done with like holographic glitter or like gold foil and shit like that to really make the print an object worth having. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like not just like, oh, this is just I think that to a lot of like smaller creatives, selling prints in general is just one of the ways you monetize the thing that you actually care about, which is your very, very good drawing of char. And don't get me wrong, I'm
yeah,
sure it's great, but they're not really asking questions about like what the product is they are selling physically.
yeah,
It is kind of funny. Like the thing that I sometimes resent about the position I'm in, but also still really appreciate, is that my whole job is not in fact just drawing the pretty picture. I then have to think
yeah,
about how it's produced and where it goes. I don't know.
yeah. I like that.
Same.
I like that process. You know,
Yeah, it's
I'm
nice to
taking
like
pictures of those fan fictions so you can like see why I freaked the fuck out. And bought them.
excellent. But yeah, it's nice to
Which
like
like you know
oh
it
yeah.
worked for me because it's like they're both like you know fucking Char Amuro like Zeta Gundam fucking shipping shit. and like that's my jam. But the thing is, they did it in a way where I'm like, I need to buy this. Like even Joe agreed. He was like, just because of like the way it was put together. Um,
You and your unfortunate homosexuals. Uh, I'm familiar with your game, sir. But yeah, I can't wait to see it. I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about the process of like making a thing lately. Finishing Worst Girl like did something to my brain. I get to put together zines again, and it turns like I'd forgotten how much I sincerely liked that. I'm making spines for them out of washi tape and shit. They look like a proper book by the time I'm done, and I'm doing most of the like cutting and printing just at home with my own setup, and it's
I should do that
soothing,
with washi
man.
tape. I have like a horde of washi tape, and I don't use it for anything.
Oh, what else would it be for? It makes your zines look like actual little booklets.
I
Like,
know you can't like put them on mail because they just fucking fall off. Like
oh
that was
yeah.
my idea. Like, oh, I put them on mail. No,
Well, no, because
I've seen people at least put them in sketchbooks, and it's like I should do that. At
you
least
put
use them as part of like mixed media drawings.
yeah, you put it on the spine and then you cut it and then it stays on. So it adheres surprisingly well.
Yeah, I have that one zine that I did with gaffer tape on the side, like that.
Ooh, that's smart.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's because Joe has gaffer tape as an audio guy, so can I use this?
Yeah, make it out of whatever you got around. It's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, it looks really nice like that way.
I've been working at a local museum these days. Longtime viewers might notice that I sound less like I'm about to stick my head in an oven. That has a lot to do with the fact that things are financially stable again for a bit. And the museum's devoted to one particular artist who worked in sculpture. I'm not going to give too many details for privacy reasons, but like half the shit there is salvaged leftover stone that quarries were throwing away or that was getting stripped out of buildings in his neighborhood at the time. He was like, fuck it, my rocks now. Carving it. I don't know. After years of committing myself to trying to get like the most professional high-end materials possible, I have really looped back around to like arts and crafts from third grade delivering better results.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for just sort of like I don't know. I'm reminded of an article I read a while back being that it's saying that like the way that people make art is that they have something they want to do and these are the materials they have to do it, not going and seeking out new materials. And like you should seek out
Yeah.
new materials. It's good to learn new things. But like by and large the impulse, the instinct comes from like, yeah, the tribe has some spare cord or whatever. Maybe I can make a little guy out of it.
Yeah, and I got a lot of shit around. Just don't
Hell
use
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, no, like every new picture I see of your art environment looks like a treasure trove of stuff. It looks
It
like you must have
is.
such a fun time in there.
There's so much stuff to do things with, and then I don't do them.
I mean, I'm working on that lately too. I'm realizing that like I very readily got into like brainworms mode during quarantine, and I'm only recently starting to really kick some of the bad habits. Like just sitting down and like instead of waiting for the perfect mood to make art striking, just being like, well, I've looked at all the social media posts. I don't have a book on hand. Better make art.
Yeah. I gotta like do art more often, like in general. Part of my problem is like I get discouraged from doing it just because of my tendonitis. Because I'm always like, okay, like I can't just impulsively do it. I like need to exercise before I do it. Even though like I could do it for like 5 minutes and be fine, but still like my brain's like, because there's like a barrier, you
Oh no,
know?
I get that. Like, because you expect pain. Like, I get that. Fucking is the tendonitis like I didn't know about the tendonitis. Is that like a permanent thing or?
Yeah, I've had it for about a decade now.
Ah, shit. Sorry.
Yeah, and if I don't like usually I'll like throw my VR headset on and do like either Samba de Amigo or uh lightsaber for like 5-10 minutes and then I'm good.
Oh wait, you did tell
Um
me about this before. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because my arm gets like tired very easily and I can tell like, if I keep going when it's like that I'm gonna hurt it.
You know,
Like I was painting at um a local like skate festival outside last weekend and I was good for the most part, but like when I got to like trying to like use an actual brush to like line the letters I was making, I could feel my arm getting tired, and I just didn't want to sit there in front of all these people in fucking 80, 90-degree weather and start doing like jumping jacks. I
No,
should
I
have
feel
the guts to just do it because I need to, but I always feel like weird, you know?
I get that. I mean, like, my personal recommendation is fuck it, pull the trigger. You'll get stared at anyway. But I have the luxury
I
of living in
know.
New York, where everyone thinks that they are too cool to notice a guy doing jumping jacks on the sidewalk.
I'd feel more comfortable doing it in New York than here.
Yeah, you get a lot of privacy in a crowd.
Yeah. You get a lot more people doing like whatever,
Yeah,
out there. Sure, you technically have more people like statistically trying to not stick out and just like do their own thing. Just but there's enough people doing weird shit where people won't necessarily like think anything about it.
yeah. Like, you learn the lesson really early that everyone's too busy worrying about what they're doing to really give one hot fuck what you're doing.
Yeah.
1 second. So the new Cyber Rats game is giving the option of playing as an unmutated human. And I really just wanted to make them look as pathetic as possible while still being like player acceptable.
Good.
And so like oh god damn it. I kind of got the idea that like a human cyber rats operative, since so much of the rest of humanity is just used to living around constant pollution and whatnot. Like, if you're not mutated, you've probably got a bunch of health problems. You need a little oxygen tank to get around and shit. Because even the atmosphere on your own spaceship is probably a little hostile to you because like the company is not paying to look after non-mutant employees.
Mm.
I don't know. I feel like I'm onto something good with the design of this guy. Like, I want to lean into that. Ugh. Do anything special for the 4th?
Nope.
Yeah. I feel
Probably
like
getting stoned, so I don't care about fireworks as much. Like I'm better than I used to be, but like I'm kind of scared of fireworks.
Oh, really? I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not like the worst. Like, again, I'm better than I used to be. I was like that with thunderstorms too. Um, but which I mean is definitely an autism thing. But like what exasperated the fireworks thing is I had once. So the place we usually go in New England that like my family has like a lake house, and there's a bunch of other fucking obnoxious Long Islanders who actually have money, who are up there. You're right, because they're the ones who can afford it. We cannot afford this place, but don't want to let it go. But they always do like a giant, really obnoxious fireworks display. And we had once where, because like I'd usually hang out with the kids who are younger than me. Again, an autism thing.
Yeah,
And so one of the kids I was friends with, he was just like sitting on like a quad, like an ATV, and like one of the fucking fireworks like fell over and flew like really fucking close to him and scared the shit out of him, and he just like came over like crying and hugged me, and it like freaked me the fuck out for a while.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And I had like once, I maybe early college, I think, where at Joe's like dad's house, they did fireworks, and like the idea of Joe participating in it, like in the actual doing of the fireworks, freaked me the fuck out to the point where I was just like, I just had to go inside and like hang in the bedroom and just cry.
Did you not have cousins that just like as a bonding activity wanted to go set fires somewhere?
Oh, they might have. I just wasn't around them.
Okay, I had many of those. So like I also handle some things about the tisms. I am also a weighted jacket enjoyer. But
hell yeah.
like but I don't know. I feel like I've looped around to a weird thing about my reaction to a lot of things that are sensory overloading. Like I can, there is a line. I've learned to get better about listening to my patients so I don't become weird. But like specifically when it comes to being overwhelmed with noise, I think I've just got too many positive associations with this is probably not a normal reaction, but I found like a good type of autistic overwhelming, like when I go to like
a balance.
Like when I go to a concert or something like that. Like because the thing is, it's not like I don't still have like my symptoms and shit like that. That shit cooks my brain. I can't talk. I'm like have trouble like figuring out how to articulate myself well. You'll like it's the only place where you'll see me go happy nonverbal because like the music is so crushing and overwhelming that my brain turns off and I can just enjoy
Yeah, I
being in
mean,
the
there's a
music.
big difference between being in an overwhelming place that you brought yourself there because you want to be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen other people talk about this as an autistic person before. It's like being able to handle being in like a crowded, loud place, like a convention or something, because
Yeah.
like you want to be there and you put yourself in there, so you expect it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know. It's funny because like I've had a few things come up with like my treatment plan in the past few years. Like I had a doctor that didn't believe me about my autism diagnosis because I had too many friends. Which thanks
Oh my
man.
god,
Thanks
I am
motherfucker.
so I am so glad when I went for my diagnosis and I mentioned that like I had like friends growing up. I was just like, I think it's because I had one good friend and she had friends and those friends had friends. So it's like it all kind of came together. I also think it's because a lot of my friends growing up were also undiagnosed ADHD or autism slash didn't know they were queer yet.
Yeah,
So like I lucked out in finding a group to cling to.
a community.
So I'm
Yeah,
glad her response was, "Oh, that's great. I'm glad to hear that."
yeah.
You
That
know.
that's always a good sign. Yeah, when they're like when you're off template and they just sort of go like, oh, good. That
That's
works
why
out
I paid
well.
extra money because I didn't want to deal with like getting gaslit by the medical system.
I feel that.
Yeah, I
It's
regret getting it now, but I don't regret the experience I had. Like I had a good psych that I went to.
no, I feel that. I guess I kind of like in conversations in other autistic spaces that I've been in. I don't know that it can feel very much like people are talking about being a lot less capable of interacting with the world than me. I wonder if it's like if I feel like it's stolen valor a little bit or something like that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah,
Like
I mean it's just you have your own difficulties.
that's a good way of looking
You
at it.
know.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, because I mean the spectrum is very different. I mean the thing is, if you were diagnosed, it's like the shit's obvious enough that you were diagnosed.
Yeah, no, that is the end of the conversation. Yeah. It's weird how it takes a like professional 12 years to like identify autism, but it takes like a class of mean 13-year-olds like 11 minutes.
Yeah, they just get it instantly.
Yeah, wait a
There's
fucking
something
minute.
wrong with you.
I bet this
We're
guy
gonna make
likes
fun of
Sonic the
you.
Hedgehog. Oh god, it's so funny. The person that I usually table conventions with, we were on a long like car ride for something, and they asked me, "What is it with autistic folks in Sonic the Hedgehog?" And I never really thought about it before, but I like nailed it down. It's a furry setting that is explicitly anti-industrialist and anti-fascist. It touches on shonen magazines and classic and modern gaming, and there's a comic book. It's literally if you have a hyperfixation, Sonic touches some element and synthesizes it really well.
Oh my god. See, the thing is that's good reasoning. There's like I feel like 10 different videos I've run into that are like, why do autistic people like Sonic? And I feel like none of them I was just were anything. They didn't discover anything. It's just like yeah, and
Yeah, I mean the
you
question
know.
is like the obvious answer is because he fucking rules. But like Sega really has like caught lightning in a bottle and established the universal fan base where it's like you get the
Yeah.
furries and the Dragon Ball Z nerds and like the speedrunners all in a room talking about the fucking hedgehog, right? Hell yeah, the fucking hedgehog.
Oh my god, I've been like my hyperfixation the past like I don't know 2 months or so has been Dragon Ball again, and I keep having to remind myself when I see things like, oh yeah, Sonic stole that.
Well,
But I mean, like everything took from Dragon Ball, But I mean, Sonic's like super direct about it. It's funny.
Sonic did an homage to it. Sonic does so many
Yes.
homages that like it's really it's got a little bit of the Warhammer 40K thing going on actually, where it's done so many parodies of other things in the genre that that like a lot of the fan base does not know where it came from.
Yeah, I mean, like Dragon Ball is so blatant though. Other than like Super Sonic, the emeralds, there being 7 of them.
I,
Um,
does it count as a Dragon Ball?
fucking
Does it count as a Dragon Ball reference if Goku's not a deadbeat dad though? If Sonic's not a deadbeat dad?
yeah, because I mean, there are still
I,
kids. You don't
I
have to
feel
be
I feel like that's a defining character trait of Goku, and I feel like if you leave that alone, you can do all the rest of it just fine.
Well, think how much Dragon Ball Z existed by the time that Sonic came out.
This is fair.
Goku hadn't been an adult for that many years yet.
That's fair. Actually, what is still definitely on my big list of stuff to pick up, I want to pick up the Sandland game. I
Oh yeah.
As Toriyama fans go, I'm something of a sicko and a pervert. I love
Yeah.
all of his work except for Dragon Ball Z. I
That's
have
so funny. I've been adoring going through Dragon Ball Z, but yes, continue.
I have fond memories of Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid, and like I appreciate that in many ways it's kind of kept up its writing in a way that's like a little bit nuanced and has some meat on the bone that's good for the adult fans. But ultimately, to a certain point, it got so far from like Dragon Ball peak all the way through peak. Modern day Dragon Ball Z, there's this like or like Dragon Ball GT or Dragon Ball Super, there's this like lightly cynical edge to it that I bounce off of. But like I love Sandland, I love Dragon Quest, I love Doctor Slump. It's all peak after peak after peak after peak, and the thing that he makes all his money off of, I'm like,
Well, like, have you read the Dragon Ball manga through Z? I mean, I haven't yet, but like the thing is, like, I'm watching Kai, which I was watching Kai, which is specifically like cuts out the meat of all the other stuff. In addition to, like, I have come to learn that like the dubs of Dragon Ball Z, like, cut out a lot of the humor, like a lot of it.
you know, that's
And
possible.
like that makes sense to me as to why there's the type of Dragon Ball Z fan that like baffles me, where like they're really into the kind of edgy shit and like fighting is the main focus of what they're into, and I'm just like, I don't get that. It's like me being a Gundam fan where like the robots fighting is like just extra to me. You know? That's not why I'm there.
I get that. Although to be fair, it is really cool watching the robots fight, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it's also cool watching Goku like do shit. Like I get it.
I think
But
that,
like
go ahead.
it's been good. I don't know. I've also watched a lot of videos. Like my hyperfixation is going to make me watch GT and Super out of just curiosity. But like, I've seen a lot of critique videos about what like is wrong with Super, and something I found very interesting talking about like the writing problem is that because Toriyama was just coming up with shit as he was going with the weekly schedule, that like he had to write the plot through the fights. Like the fights progressed the plot and they tied into each other. When he was writing shit for Super, he would literally like write all the plot shit. Like they would just lore dump at you, and then he literally wrote for the fucking scripts and stuff. Insert fight here. Let the fucking people who are doing the anime figure it out. You know?
Oof.
There's like a big difference, you know?
Well, I mean, it makes a certain like sense. One of the things that I actually think is a big strength of like why so much manga writing catches on in like the American audience, not just because like you don't need to keep up with five other manga to know what's happening in it, but also there's like I am not advocating that we have Dennis Super is pretty good about keeping his humor at least. True. I actually really like the Dr. Slump cameo. From what I saw.
Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff from Super that's pretty funny.
But there's a thing that happens in the manga industry. I am not recommending that we do this here, but like the super fast turnaround means that a lot of mangaka have to sort of be like first idea, best idea, and that lets them get a little wacky ass in a way that I think that we're resistant to in our own comics industry.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's definitely like benefits like that come from like that kind of system, which is funny because I literally just watched a video describing like just going over specific mangaka examples and how you know fucking the manga industry physically and mentally just wrecked them.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, it's a nightmare.
Disgustingly.
I recently looked up what happened to one of my earliest inspirations was the guy who did Jing King of Bandits back before we knew that Tokyo Pop was evil, and like the fact that his career ended younger than I am due to like health problems sometimes makes me want to stand on the roof and fucking scream.
God, yeah.
But like whatchamacallit, the fact that like we have this like rapid output like writing process, like sometimes I find it easier to write for tabletop RPG stuff than I do for like my own personal scripts. But part of that's because I have to keep it moving, right? I can just throw an idea out there and fix it later. And like I do think that that kind of reasoning is where you get the best elements of JoJo or Dandadan or stuff like that, where the author just has to be like, I have to be all in on this. everything I do has to be something I am actually interested in, or I will not be able to sustain the energy to get the next update out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that there is
Ugh.
something cool and smart about that, but like God, I wish it could happen without the industry working the way it does.
Yeah. It's very, very upsetting.
That said, Kickstarter for Concrete Arcanum, the latest comics anthology that I'm in, is up now. Let me put a link in the chat.
Wow. Legis mangaka had to learn to draw with his other hand because the way he was leaning over his desk made him repeatedly lose feeling in his dominant arm. Oh.
Oh, I
See, I
hate
was
that.
watching when I was watching that video, they mentioned like Taikubo and they didn't mention that point. Like, damn.
We live in hell.
They did mention I should remember his name, but the Hunter x Hunter guy. I know it's Hunter x Hunter, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Um
The X is
him
right there.
literally his back getting so fucked up that like he literally like drew in one of his books like the only way that he can draw comfortably, which is like in a position that's like you would do if you were laying in bed casually, like on your stomach, like looking at your iPad or your phone or whatever. Like that's how he has to draw.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Yeah, and then with speaking of Toriyama, like I learned that like him coming back to draw like Jocko, that by the time he like finished doing that, he was just like officially done. Like he couldn't fucking do it. Like he couldn't physically do it anymore. Just why, obviously why Super was not drawn by him.
God, it's scary stuff. I do want to make sure that I try to keep my ability as long as possible, especially because it feels like I've only just started getting the things done I really want to do. Which reminds me, Sam, did you see the first issue of Worst Girl yet?
I did not actually. I need
I
to do
did
that.
it! I did it! I finished issue
You did.
1! I'm scripting issue 2!
Hell yeah.
Next one introduces her terrible on again, off again paramour. Like no, Sam. I'm so proud of how I wrote this woman. I have been consulting a team of Upper West Side ketamine lesbians to design a woman that they would let ruin their lives. And I'm like,
I love that.
I feel like I've done really well at it. I'm really proud of what I've done here. Like I want it on the record. This feels like good allyship.
See, that sounds like the best way to like write something that you don't have direct experience with.
Yeah, I like I. It's not like I'm having them write it for me or whatever, but like I get a
Yeah.
little further and I show them, and they're like, how's this dialogue? Oh, tweak this and this. How's this one? This she wouldn't buy that. Okay, yeah, got it.
So yeah, they made Kubo stop doing extreme sports after he broke his hand snowboarding. That's terrifying. I would not want to break my hand. I feel bad enough having the tendonitis I do.
I get terrified of like injuring myself in some way. I actually like I finished the cover for the new Cyberrats book in such a flurry that my arm felt funny for a few days, and I'm like, oh fuck, is this it? Is this how it happens?
Oh god.
Turns out I just
Yeah,
need
I
to
mean you
stretch
just
more.
gotta break after that.
It turns out I just got to stretch more. I actually never learned like good stretches. I've only started picking it up recently. I've just been raw dogging illustration for 10 years, so it's really
Yeah,
kind of
don't
got
keep
on
doing
its
that.
now.
You will die.
I'm learning. I'm learning. I don't know. I
Um
think I got way too into the like idea that my body was indestructible because for a long time, compared to a lot of my friends, it felt like it was. But age 35, it's all catching up real fucking fast. I have to eat vegetables now. This shit sucks.
Yo, I fucking love vegetables, but whatever.
I mean, like I should rationally, but I'm so used, dude. I get to be a hedonistic pervert about a limited number of things, but good French food or fancy meals or like weird gastronaut stuff, almost none of which is vegetable focused. It's all frogois and steak tartare or like fish egg shots, or it's anything that you could make from an animal that you wouldn't have normally. I tried anglerfish liver for the first time the other day, and it took me to
What?
another plane of oh, it's so good. If you're ever around St. Mark's Place again and are willing to eat inside, I would absolutely be willing to sit through this place's terribly long lines to expose you to frog legs and anglerfish liver.
Okay, like frog legs are normal. Anglerfish and anything anglerfish is what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. Like that thing has to come a long fucking way vertically
Yeah.
for you to just eat one bit of it.
How expensive was that? That sounds like it should be expensive.
It's actually at like a weird Japanese snacky place, so like a little pricey just because it's like popular, but not the most pricey. The idea is like
Huh.
not a lot of other places do this kind of Japanese food, so it's super crowded and super popular, and they have a lot of bondage porn on the walls for normal reasons. I I
Good.
I cannot recommend the place more highly. It was a bit of a nightmare to go in, especially because I had a gaggle of 8 friends with me. Uh,
Wow.
but it is an extreme, like, again, if you're ever around St. Mark's Place and are down for a gastronaut experience, they
All
also had
right.
like, I think they also had like quail or sparrow or something like that, and they give you the whole bird.
See, the thing is, like, I don't eat like pork or beef, but I do eat poultry and seafood. So, like, you are still getting me here.
Oh
You know,
hell
it's
yeah!
like, huh?
And like, what does iguana count as?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they got that. I think that like there was a recipe for either sand dollars or barnacles. Apparently, like I've become like you already knew that I was a tinned fish guy, but they're starting to get more and more esoteric tinned fish in the stores. So I'm
Wow.
seeing places selling like barnacles and baby eels and like squid ink and stuff like that.
Neat.
It's a good age to be a weird food pervert.
Good.
Extremely good.
Sorry, my voice keeps disappearing. I'm using this time to like put some stuff away.
All good, boss. I am still inking. I should throw a new weird restaurant on the list to check out now that now that I'm less terrified of my finances.
Do it.
Hell yeah. I don't know. I knew that like things were definitely getting better for the whole household when like me and my wife talking about trips we wanted to take started feeling aspirational instead of depressing.
Oh,
Like
nice.
like things were rough for a hot minute there. So talking about, hey, you still want to go to Rome one day, felt a little bit like, tell me about the bunnies, George. But like now it's
Aw.
actually like, yeah, we might be able to do that again one day.
Ugh. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the time when we have discussions like that lately, it just turns into we can't do that. Which is like, oh.
I We can't do that right now, but it feels more possible that we will ever be able to do it again, and that's a big change after the past couple of years.
Yeah, I just don't think it helps for me that it's gone backwards for a long time just because of like COVID stuff, health stuff, and then also fascism as like a openly vocal trans communist.
I
It's
get
like,
that.
oh,
I get
it's like
that.
I'm not going anywhere near leaving the country unless I don't intend on coming back, you know.
Uh,
Um,
I'm actually getting a little bit closer to figuring out Irish dual citizenship. I can let you know if I hear about anything you can take advantage of.
yeah, I know. It's again, it's funny that I've had all this talk of like, oh God, I'm going through my stuff because I should get rid of a lot of it, just in case we ever have to fucking like bail. And here I am buying like a risograph, and it's like, okay, well,
I mean, like it's a risograph is also like not to like. So I get in trouble with some of the other fucking big leftists I know for thinking in these terms here and there, but like distinguishing between commerce and capitalism, the the
oh yeah,
risograph is still like it's a means of production that you have seized that is a good thing.
yeah, no, I'm making a at least part of my because like I can't fucking sustain myself off of art, right? And I can't um do jobs because I fucking burn out like with most jobs real fucking fast. Or I'm just like not qualified for stuff.
I feel you.
Um, and like, you know, I don't want to deal with like, oh, no one can get a fucking job right now, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
it's like
rough
I
out
have the
there.
extra disadvantage of just like being an autistic person, so it's like I could very easily give a bad impression immediately.
Yeah,
Um, or like go somewhere and they don't have the fucking patience for like the amount of time it takes me to actually like get good at something because I can get good at stuff. It takes me extra time.
yeah.
Um, but the thing is, like, I've been making my own shit to sell at cons for like 13, 14 years now, on and off. And it's like, okay, like I guess I'm doing a print shop from my house.
I mean, that sounds like a good way of going about it. I've also been thinking a little bit about this lately. Like, chat, I understand if y'all consider this a little bit like too much grown up talk. But like the current gig that I've got going on and the way that couples with my freelance practice has me really asking some questions about what a career actually is or like what a functional way of supporting myself is. I don't like, I am technically like minimally employed. I have a part-time job and like a cycling stack of like freelance contracts fixing up people's websites or like doing their social media posts or designing flyers for their business or shit like that. But it's also kind of got me like at least at times making more money than I've ever been at any other point in my life. There's still a lot to like figure out, freelancer taxes and like healthcare and shit like that. But it's really got me going like, well, what is a way of sustaining yourself? What is like how you're supposed to do it? Because if jobs don't do that anymore, there's nothing to be ashamed of in capitalizing on what you're good at. Like, it's not great to feel like you have to monetize all of your hobbies. But like looking at how I spent the past 10 years, I know so much about running tabletop RPGs that like I'm branching out into publishing adventures that I wrote and like people are willing to pay for them. I'm branching out into streaming that I'm doing right now. I've always been a yapper anyway. I've cultivated this skill and this is the place where I can make money off of it. Now you're cultivating the skill of like being able to produce merchandising and working with small press stuff, and I think that that's something to be really proud of. Like, Sam, you are good at this. I don't hang out with people at shows that I don't think are doing a good job. I hang out with you because you're like
I don't
like,
hang out with Luz.
no, it's not like that.
I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
I take the
I get it.
I take the craft seriously, and I'm not really there to chill with folks who don't. You take it
Yeah.
seriously, and you're clearly good at it. And expanding on that seems like something that could be really good for you. You can also let me know if this is not a conversation for public.
No, I'm fine with it. This is the kind of shit I normally talk about.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just moving around the fucking ADHD shit. You know? Bleh.
If you need somebody to schlep out and help haul stuff sometimes, I've got access to secret weekday Manhattan. I can come out on a Monday or something.
Yeah, I mean, part of it's also like our space. Like, I'm personally hoping. I mean, money's tight for everyone right now, right? But like,
Yeah.
I'm like slowly putting together like an Indiegogo for this shit because like I need money to buy drums and paper. But like, I'm hoping if I get that like New York State grant, that if I can get some money from the Indiegogo ahead of time, and that gives me more wiggle room with the money I get from the grant, that I can like rent a space to do this stuff in for like the year of the project.
Oh, dude,
because
you have a studio.
I technically already have a studio, but yeah, one for that. Because I certainly don't have the room for the silk screen press and the risograph like in here, and we've had puffbacks several times in our basement. So like, as clean as we try to make it, like I don't know if it's really clean enough for me doing like 18 by 24 silk screen prints and leaving them around to dry and shit.
I mean that's fair. Also, like, not in your house studio is a way higher level of professionalism than studio, i.e., my desk in my bedroom. You know what I mean?
I mean, like, this is like a separate room that's not even attached to our house, technically.
Oh,
you
right.
know?
I forgot that you got Long Island space.
Yeah, even though our house is tiny.
Yeah, no. I'm not. None of it's like. Look, I'm not accusing you of being a member of the bourgeoisie. I'm just saying that you've got more space than my one-bedroom apartment.
Yeah. No, I got you. Yeah, like there's a there's a place in Port Jefferson, which is like middle-ish in the island, like North Shore. It's where the Long Island Ferry is. If you
not in a hot minute, but I remember it.
Yeah. So, there's a place out there called The Hive that they rent rooms to creatives. Like, that's what it is. It's like right near the train station that's there. And I'm thinking like if they happen to have an opening for one of their cheaper rooms by the time I get the grant, because they have a room for their cheapest room right now, but like I can't just like throw money at that, you
I
know?
feel ya. I feel ya. Good luck, man.
Yeah.
Let me know if
And I mean, people could come visit if they want to, because it's like literally right next to like the train station.
Well, let me know if you need somebody to talk you up or a quote for your grant pitch or something like that. Official people seem to adore me. I should
Oh yeah.
actually learn how like grant stuff works in general because I feel like this would be a good ecosystem for me. But I only recently started learning how they work at all. Like, I don't know. Thank goodness for my buddies who are more fine art like oriented because like everything I learned at SVA is mostly about how to like just put the pen to the paper. They don't really care if you like have a career after you
Oh
graduate.
yeah. No,
They
no,
already
no.
got your money. And so I've really had to learn
Yeah, I
all of this
mean,
ad hoc afterwards.
FIT was like that too. I mean, like I dropped out before like I only survived like 3 months into the bachelor's and then was like I'm out. But as far as I know, like the only like business thing that they have you do one business class in your final semester when you already have students that are already like freaking the fuck out about getting their shit done because it's your final semester.
You got
You know,
a
and it's just like
you had a whole class about that. We had a 7 week course that once had a publisher come in to speak to us.
yeah, I don't know what it covered. I just know that it's not enough, you
Yeah.
know?
The guy basically just sat on a chair in front of all of these like 22-year-olds and went like, "Yeah, you're fucked. Thanks for having me over though.
Bye. Good luck.
Later, baiters."
um
God, it's a little thing. I'm very pleased about how this mantis in a ball gown came out. We're adding one
oh
of the new
wow.
yeah
Nice.
one of the new player types is members of this like swarm alien species, and like I think the idea was supposed to be like bug horrors, but I just started like really enjoying drawing realistic bugs just in outfits. Uh,
Oh, okay.
so that seems to be working so far. Actually, wait, have you seen the cover yet?
No.
Let me dig that up. Check it, dog.
Oh, fun. In
I popped
space.
I popped off so hard, but like one of the things I've really enjoyed is that like the swarm is the like good guy faction. They are the ones who are fighting the villains and doing a better job than you, who your player characters have an urge to sabotage because no, I want to do it. And so I basically been designing these big bug monsters as something between like knights in shining armor and World War II soldiers.
Oh, okay.
And it's been like I don't know. It's really look at these ants over here. I did so good. All right. Yes. Sorry about the distraction. Back to
Ants
inks.
in clothes. That's fine. How'd you do the 3D type?
Oh, by hand.
Oh, you did this pretty clean.
Yeah, I did that
Good
real
job.
fucking clean. Oh, hey, Leth, welcome. But yeah, no, that was entirely. I just sat there with the ruler on my iPad screen, figuring out what a good vanishing point would be to get the in space looking thing.
Oh my god. It took
I,
me a long time to put together that you could literally put a ruler physically on a screen and use it that way.
to be fair, like the stylus does not like it. I had to really like get the hang of it for it to not feel like wiggly and not cool.
Okay.
But nowadays I seem to have gotten somewhere a little bit good about it. It's funny. The older I get, it used to be when I first started drawing on the iPad, it's like, oh man, we live in the digital age. I'm gonna like use all these tools and everything's gonna be amazing. And now half the digital tools I see are like, this isn't actually as good as just brute forcing it the old-fashioned way myself. It'll take a little bit longer, but I'll like it more.
Yeah.
It's a very funny problem to have, especially as like someone younger artists ask for advice at conventions. The sort of like, what's your favorite what's your favorite setup for Clip Studio Pro? I pretty much only open it when I have to animate, and like even then when there's a gun to my head.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have Clip Studio. Like, not on my iPad because, like, I'm not fucking paying for that.
Yeah.
I paid for it once. I'm good. Um, but like I actually want to try to use because I have the fucking 22-inch Cintiq. I want to actually use it eventually for doing comics and more complicated illustration, but
Maybe I'd use it more.
I just
Sorry.
haven't.
Maybe I'd use it more if I had a Cintiq. I do have it on the iPad, and like on the and on the desktop. It's not installed on the desktop right now, but I still have a license around somewhere. Um,
But yeah, I mean the layout for it is just not very like
it's a
iPad
space
friendly.
shuttle.
It's desktop.
Yeah. And like there's a setting to change it that way, but it's still super easy to fat finger everything. I don't know. I feel like I should learn to use it as a tool. Like I don't want to become an old man who's scared of new tech. But like half the
Yeah.
new tech that I get is kind of like my thing already works. I'll do works, please.
Yeah.
It's actually I got like I've started recommending people who work on the iPad snag Art Studio Pro, and that is like it's basically like it's just Photoshop with training wheels. It is like if you had to rank it as a graphic design and art tool, it's somewhere around double fart minus, but it is so crude that you can just pop it open and make your Photoshop changes and then put your file back in the actual good program you use.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Half the new tech I see is this used to be a standard feature. It makes me so angry. Yes!
Oh my
Absolutely!
god, yeah.
Stop charging me for shit that I use. If you, I still have my Adobe Photoshop CS6 license.
Yeah, mine is admittedly not legal. I never paid for it. I got the whole CS6 suite. I pirated it like
Twitch
before
mod Sam is
the cloud.
kidding.
I acquired it before the cloud was even a thing.
That
But
makes
it was
legal.
like around the time that the cloud happened, I was just like, okay, like, you know what? I'm gonna do this like as my job. I feel like I should actually pay for it. Like I'm gonna buy Photoshop and whatever else I need. And then the fucking cloud happened, and it's like, oh, never mind. Fuck you. You know? It's like,
yeah.
why can't they have at least like a kind of rent to own kind of model at least?
Well, because
You know?
that doesn't get them as much of your fucking money.
I
Like
know.
it is kind of funny because so I spend a little bit of time in graphic design spaces, not willingly, but people sometimes give me money there. But like I think it's more of a rumor going around a lot of like small freelancers and small businesses claiming that a business could get in legal trouble if its contractors don't have a real copy of like Adobe Creative Suite. And I don't think that's true, but it's gotten so prevalent that like all these tech startup guys will ask for like proof that your Adobe Photoshop copy is like legal.
The thing I barely use Photoshop for anything. Like I'm trying, we have like Affinity Designer and Affinity, fuck, I forget the other name of it, but basically the Photoshop and the Illustrator.
I really want Affinity
that they
to catch
have.
on more. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I gotta like sit down and actually like learn them. The thing is like I learned how to use Photoshop in high school, so it's like my brain's like, oh no, new program.
Nah, I feel it.
Like I've known how to use the same program for like I don't know, almost 20 years, you know?
Designer's actually pretty easy to learn. For a little bit, I was using the Affinity suite almost entirely before I remembered where I left my perfectly legal CS6 setup. But
Yeah, I've just been moving the same files for my perfectly legal CS6 setup from computer to computer for however many years now, at least 15 years now.
As well,
you know,
because it's
just
yours.
from computer to computer.
It's your stuff. Why would you not have it anymore?
Yeah, duh. Yeah, I honestly used to draw. I used to do my illustrative work almost like entirely in Photoshop, and it's just like once I started really having a beef with Adobe, I was just like, I'm gonna stop doing this.
That is buck wild. I cannot imagine using Photoshop specifically as an illustration program. Like,
it was because of Kyle Webster's brushes, which is why I was also pissed when he actually got when he got fucking like hired by Adobe, which he doesn't work for them anymore.
Yeah, I saw that.
I haven't seen what he's up to, but yeah.
I think he makes Procreate brushes now too. We stay winning.
Good. Yeah, because I was so pissed then, because even though I was trying to move away from Photoshop, I was just like, that made me extra angry. I was like, all right, like I get it. I get it for him. I can't blame him for taking that job. But like it made me so fucking just like upset because
Well,
of how much Adobe sucks. And I was like, I want access to his brushes still, like new ones, but I'm not paying for the fucking cloud.
well, last I heard, he had bailed over the AI stuff, and I think was
Yeah.
translating his brushes into a bunch of other like better programs. So there remains hope. I've actually been really proud of like
That let me see.
I've actually been really proud of how like the art community has handled a lot of like professional bad actors lately. There's always going to be problems.
Yeah.
I have no delusions about us never having another like Neil Gaiman or whatever again. But overall, it
Yeah.
seems like the industry as a whole has really hardened itself against like certain types of exploitation. Not on the publishing end of things, obviously, but at least on the actual like people who do shit level.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I think I need to shoot you a link to the cartoonist co-op sometime.
Oh yeah, I was gonna fucking I've had a link open on my phone for a while to like actually like sign up for it, but like
Oh,
I haven't yet. It's
please
just
do.
open on my phone.
It's so fun, and like honestly, having something that occasionally needs you to contribute also is good for like keeping you thinking about your art practice in a way that I really
Yeah.
appreciate. Like I do feel like the fact that there's an organization of other artists that are coming together to try to like improve our pay situation and share resources and stuff like that that occasionally need me to pipe up and be like, hey, who can take on this project for the co-op or stuff like that. I don't know, really does get me thinking about like how and why I make art and how frequently I want to do it and where I want to take it. I don't know. It's
Hmm.
really, really cool. After so much of my art community mostly being online, it's kind of nice to have an art community that's like pseudo local or pseudo professional.
Yeah.
It's a really cool thing.
Okay. So I am looking on Kyle's um Gumroad, which doesn't have that many things on it, but like the couple of brushes he have on here, like if they don't specifically say for Photoshop, it looks like they have it for a couple of different things.
Yeah, that was my understanding. Yeah,
It's not that much of it, but you know, it's a lot of work. I get that.
I mean, beats nothing.
But yeah.
Also, like bailing on Photoshop might have meant having to start over on a lot of it. Who knows how much they still have like copyrighted or whatnot.
Oh yeah. It says here he's known throughout the world as the founder of KyleBrush.com. Click it. We're having trouble finding that site. Yeah.
Buddy, update your website. I've actually been so proud of like younger cartoonists at like conventions I see these days that are making their websites in like HTML3. It looks
I
jank
keep
as
meaning to,
fucking.
I'm going to do that eventually. If I get that grant and like do that, I definitely intend on making like an actual like Web 2.0 website for it.
It's on my list too. I want to part company with WordPress and maybe just find some sort of like external plugin to use to let people comment on my webcomic and shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean right now all my shit is on card just cuz like it costs nothing.
I feel ya.
Um but like I'm sure I'm going to do stuff on Neko Web eventually. Just cuz the guy who owns NeoCities, like I think he had like shit with AI that people had beef with.
I mean, that does sound like
But Neko Web's pretty much the same thing.
guys from the '90s these days.
Yeah.
Sorry, state of affairs. I never thought we would miss the MySpace guy so much. He just wanted he wanted to be all of our friends, and he left us the fuck alone.
Okay, like because I've been on a Dragon Ball kick and I'm getting towards the end, but like I have to wait for Joe because Joe just loves Dragon Ball enough where he's like, you can't just watch it without me, and I'm like, fuck, okay.
Aw, cute.
But like my autism's like, oh, I want more Dragon Ball. So like I was like, wait a minute, like DBZ Abridged exists, like I should watch it. Literally watch the first episode, immediately a reference to fucking Piccolo having a MySpace and Tom being his only friend, and I was just like, how many people are gonna watch this in 2025 and have no idea what the fuck that means?
I actually really looking forward to the day we are such a well documented like generation of pop culture. Like sometimes I remember old history classes where you would be reading like archival quality old letters that were just between some Burke, and there's going to be so many of those being like, what do you think the symbolic meaning is of Piccolo having only one MySpace friend? What does this imply to you MySpace was?
I love at the end of the episode, like Goku like convinces Piccolo to come help against the Saiyans because he's like, okay, like I'll be if you come help, I'll be your MySpace friend. And Piccolo's like, yeah, bye, Tom. You know, so fucking funny to me.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
God, remember when you could rank your friends on your social media? We should bring that back. Like we haven't started a fight over something stupid in a long time. Now it's all just finding that out that your aunties are Nazis. Like,
Oh my god, is I need an adult common because of Team Four Star? That's so funny.
WoW player, it's very nice.
I use that all the time. I need an adult.
Hey, it's
Hydrate. I just opened a seltzer, so we good.
Actually, I need to go get myself a beverage in that case. One moment, gang. Thank you, Tots.
Okay. I will be doing art at some point. I forgot to charge my iPad, so I'm letting it charge. I think I'm going to edit my Reso website while we're doing nothing. Dramatically saying, "Dear God," is my takeaway from TF2. Dear God.
Hydrating with tomato juice because my wife wants me to have more vegetables.
Okay. I want to like tomato juice. What I actually like, I really like combining juice with carrot juice. So like orange juice or another citrus juice with carrot juice is really good, actually.
I have gotten aggressively smoothie pilled in the recent few weeks. Like nobody told me.
I haven't done that in a while. Yeah.
Nobody told me how easy it is to hit your fucking nutrient like cap if you just blend it all up in a single glass. They're all fantastic. I've been using like Greek yogurt and banana and like basically whatever fruits and veggies won't absolutely poison the concoction. And like it's delicious, but it is the most like sitcom unappetizing looking smoothies in the world. I don't know what I did where using entirely red fruits and somehow getting a gray smoothie. But it's good every time.
Color theory somehow.
Yeah. I was hoping for a glass of warm and inviting. something Tumblr color theory joke. Tomatoes got water, you'll count it? Thank you, Tots. You are merciful.
I hate just like I have like, oh, I opened a new tab in Firefox, and because of that, it just like has like news there, and it's like, don't tell me.
I didn't ask to fucking see that, bud.
I already know what happened because I was on Blue Sky, but it's like, It's really funny actually right now because I have like the Zeta Gundam soundtrack on, and there's very tense music happening right now, and I'm just like listening to this tense music while staring at live updates. House passes bill, and it's like, stop.
Ugh.
Stop.
Look, they managed to strip a lot out of it that I thought they wouldn't be able to get. I am counting that win. You gotta keep yourself motivated somehow.
Oh yeah.
This ain't like, folks, you're gonna keep working. This ain't the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like, that's not me trying to be callous about the damage it will do, but like I'm trying to keep myself motivated and try to keep myself from like spiraling.
Yeah, no, I mean I've seen people basically say like, it's not good to just spiral, but it's also not good to just like be like toxically positive about shit.
I
Um,
I like
I saw a thing saying I think cautious optimism was like a term that they threw out. You know,
I could I could see that. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Hope for the best, plan for the worst.
I also realized I can make my rice with tea to make it funny colors.
Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. Brilliant idea.
Oh my god, rice! I was just telling someone the other day how they should get a rice cooker. I have no spoons for making food, but it's so easy. It's so easy for me to just put some rice in a bowl. I can rinse it a little bit, but then just put the measured amount of water to go with the measured amount of rice, and you put it in the thing, and you press on, and you're good.
Yeah, we've got one of those like fancy Japanese like rice cookers these days. Actually,
Yeah.
my wife's sitting right behind me, so she might have an opinion on the views I'm about to articulate. Uh, but like when I first moved into my first apartment, the previous resident had left a deeply Soviet looking rice cooker. It was just a big red
Oh.
pot. It was a big red pot with one button and a light. And it's like, you know that shade of red paint on a metal appliance that makes you know that it's definitely got lead in it? You know, like you look at it, you're like, ooh, uh-oh. But that thing kept me alive because I was so bad at feeding myself when I first moved out. Like, I don't know if you've been here for me telling the story about like the tuna sandwich that caused me to fucking cry, but like
No.
I was not adept at caring for my physical body yet. Uh,
Oh.
but that rice cooker, it was so. It had one button. It had a built-in steamer. You just put the veggies in the steamer and the rice in the other bit. You measure off twice as much water as the rice, and you hit the button and you walk away, and half your meal is done, and you just have to figure
Yeah.
out the meat. Like that thing was so helpful. The new rice cooker that we have nowadays, it's one of those Japanese singing ones, and the the proportions it needs are different, and like it needs to be plugged in for longer, and like the timer can be off a little bit. It has settings that I have to remember, and every so often when it's like 8 p.m. and I'm starting dinner a little bit late, I'm just like, Soviet rice cooker, I miss you so much. I'll accept the lead poisoning. I just save me from think.
I yeah, we have a Japanese one too, but it's like a cheaper one. It's simple.
Is it the square one?
It's still good.
The do 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 that little bastard.
No, no, it's not. It's not that. I don't remember what the brand is, but like they have furries for their mascot,
Oh, so
which is great because we initially bought it